like Carl Anthony Towns.
Oh,
No.
we in Minnesota now.
Welcome to MLG Radio, brought to you by Fan Law, Tewes Lending, and Pain-Free Chiropractic. Need a personal injury lawyer? Want to work with a modern multilingual firm? Call Fan Law. Whether it's personal injury, family law, or if you're needing a lawyer who can cater specifically to Vietnamese culture, call Fan Law. When shit hits the fan, call Fan. Visit www.fanlawpa.com. Need an expert to help you with your mortgage needs? Tewes Lending is a mortgage brokerage that makes achieving a mortgage fast and easy. Comprised of a team with 30 plus years in the industry, Tewes makes the process of buying or refinancing a home seamless. They also don't stop until the job is finished, hence their motto, let's get you home. Reach Tewes Lending at www.teweslending.com. Are you looking for whole health? Having some back pain? Visit Pain-Free Chiropractic. Pain-Free Chiropractic strives to provide the highest quality chiropractic and massage therapy to keep you and your loved ones pain-free. Visit www.painfreehome.com.
Brian, thanks for being our guest for episode 3, MLG Radio, highly experimental, trying to get different personalities and different voices on this thing. Today we got Aaron also on board. Say hi, Aaron.
What's up, yo?
He deepened his voice like Cat, like Carl Anthony Towns. No.
Oh, we in Minnesota now.
Yeah, so without further ado, what we typically do is we put our guests on the hot seat. We try to learn about you a little bit, and then eventually we'll get to basketball. Does that sound cool, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Appreciate you guys bringing me on too.
Yeah, I remember one of the mornings you're like, yo, man, you guys aren't talking about my team at all. So I was like, I think this would be a good opportunity to do that. But first, you are the owner of Tewes Lending, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So yeah, let's talk about that first. Can you tell us a bit about your business and how you got started and like what made you jump into the game?
Yeah, for sure. I'll keep it super short because I'd much rather talk about basketball. But work related. So Tewes Lending is a mortgage brokerage here in Orlando. We service the entire state. I got into the whole mortgage business pretty much after I bought my first place. My dad's been doing it forever. So when I got my first spot, he helped me with it. I was asking tons of questions, and I wasn't just finding it like interesting. It kind of just clicked. Like it just started to make sense. I started thinking, well, what if I get my license and do it on the side while having a full-time job? So I did that. I got the license, full-time job, and basically went nowhere mortgage-wise. Like I was getting no business. I'm like, damn. And then there was really just like one dude. I think it was like one bad day at work. It was really just the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm like, this is not for me. So I started saving up. I put like 6 months of savings away and figured I'm going all in mortgages, 2 feet in. I'm either going to sink or swim. So that's how I got started. And now it's been 5 years, got my own company, got a small team on my hands. So yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell.
That's sick. And we always like to like highlight what our guys are doing like beyond the court, because that's kind of the whole point of Men's Leadership Group. But being a business owner is hard. I expect. What does it take to be a business owner? What would you say to anyone or give to anyone to prepare them to try if they're trying to start their own venture in the future?
Oh man, I would say you almost got to feel like you are deciding to have a baby. You got to care for this thing all the time. You're thinking about it all the time. Even when you tell yourself, I'm not starting till 8 a.m. and I'm going to be done by 6 p.m. Right before you go to sleep, you might still be checking. You might still be thinking about the business. So it's really like having a baby. Now, granted, I don't have any kids as far as I'm concerned, but I feel like it's very similar, man. You got to have a passion for it. You got to have a drive. There's definitely some tough days. There's some days where you just want to quit or thinking, man, this is not for me. So you just have to really find something that you can get past those days, because there's going to be plenty. There's going to be plenty of bad days. There's going to be great days too. But that would be my advice. Is like, be ready to have a kid. Like that's what owning your own business truly is what I've learned.
I know Aaron has reached out to you for like different advice too. Aaron, what was your experience like talking to Brian about different stuff? I don't know what you guys were talking about, but I just know Aaron has high praise for your willing and generosity to be of assistance.
Yeah, I mean, well, for me, I'm really interested in real estate, trying to hopefully someday get into rental property myself. But I was asking Brian just like general questions, and I think for me, like as a customer or a potential customer, I just saw it as like incredibly reassuring to get all the information, and Brian was like super willing to give that information, and it just felt like someone I can really like rely on to guide me, because I feel like so much of investments and real estate it's kind of scary. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of like things that can go wrong, and they always say like you gotta build your team. You need a mortgage guy, a real estate agent, insurance lawyer, all that stuff. And then I just felt like asking questions and getting that information from Brian was like reflective of the kind of guy he is.
Dude, hey, listen, I'm gonna hire you, put you on a commercial, bro. That was really good.
Oh shit! Oh, don't ask me to repeat it. I'm gonna say it in 2 seconds.
Testimonial.
You were. I'm gonna take that part of the recording and turn that into a commercial. Watch.
Do it, bro, man. That's what we're here for. Men's Leadership Group connections 24/7. You already know what to do.
Yes. I know you don't want to talk about this too much. You've probably been thinking about it all day, every day. But I just have one last thing while you're here, because
hit me, man. Go for it.
Plus, you're a Hall of Fame sponsor. I mean, that's it's huge, man. I think a lot of what we're able to do this season is because our sponsors like yourself have stepped up, and we really 100% appreciate you. So we want to take the time to at least plug it in a little bit. But I know, given what you offer, who would you say should look into inquiring with you, and like what are the things, I guess, like for us younger men that are like transitioning in life, like what should we be looking for when looking for a lending partner, a mortgage expert?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I appreciate you guys, man. First off, like on the whole Hall of Fame sponsorship, the reason I did that, and then I promise I answer your question. The reason I jumped in on that is because, I mean, both of you and then Chris Chen and some of the other guys I've gotten close with, you guys are freaking awesome. And I love what you're putting together. And I mean, I went from being the basketball dad on the sidelines, just watching some of my buddies play, to have an opportunity to play with y'all, and then to take this next step and be chosen as a captain. I mean, that truly means the world to me, because I've been playing basketball since I was 8 years old. A Heat fan since I was 8 years old too. But so it's really neat, and I'm really excited, still extremely excited to see where this thing goes, and happy to be a piece of it, whether it be with my time or financially. So that's why I got involved on that. But coming back full circle to your question, young men looking at the next step of life, like on a mortgage side, lending side, I think just anything real estate, you really need to speak with someone who will take the time to ask questions and kind of understand either where you're at. Well, actually, I'll not say either. I'll say two things: where you're at and where you want to go. So, I mean, when Aaron and I had a conversation, I even had a conversation with Chris Chen as well. It's like, okay, let's talk about what you're currently doing. Try to figure out what your goals are, whether it be 6 months, a year, 3, 5 years, and then kind of strategize. That's been awesome, because I can relate to that shit. Like when I talk to people and I say, look, this is my 5-year goal, and I'm trying to hit it in 3 years, which is passive income. Like I want to make a certain amount of money, passive income. I know real estate's going to be a big piece. I talk about where I'm at, and I talk about where I'm trying to go. So if I'm doing it, I feel like that's the conversation not only myself, but my team is trying to have with our clients. So whether it be young men or women, it doesn't matter. If a big part of your next step in life is going to be potentially real estate, right? If you're not going to be renting forever, So just need to have people on your team that are asking the right questions, that are not just trying to sell you. Like, we get it. We're all salesmen or saleswomen here. But really it's about like just knowing where are you at? Where are you trying to go? And then if you have value, to take those people there. So I pride myself and my team on we're really strong on that, on just trying to find out what your goal is and help you get there.
There it is, man. Give this man a call. Give this man a call. If you are needing his services, give this man a call.
Appreciate you guys.
But let's move into basketball. Heat check.
Oh,
Coming
yeah.
into this, I know you mentioned we haven't talked about your team at all, so let's do this. Let's talk about your team. Tell us about your team. How do you feel about how you guys have performed so far?
I'm extremely proud, man. And also that whole thing was just listening to the podcast, because one of my I'm pretty sure it's gonna be my New Year's resolution is to start a podcast next year, and listen to your guys' episodes. I just like took it in fun stride of like, oh, they're not talking about us. They don't know who we are. Like, no, like, I get it. You guys have such a clique, been playing together forever. And like, here comes this guy, Brian, first time captain. So I was like, okay, I get it. Why nobody's like talking about us. But I was like, I'm going to be like, whatchamacallit, like MJ in The Last Dance. Like, all right, take that personal. Like, you just use that fire. So, anyways, that's that whole first piece. But I'm really happy with my team, man. I love the draft. What's his face? Chris Abaleta took one of my boys from me. Took Dan, but outside of that, I'm really excited about my team and what we're gonna keep doing the rest of this season. I think what I really enjoy is because as a captain, I've tried to just delegate or let everybody else speak on what they're seeing and what they're doing and try to get towards their strengths. And everybody's speaking up from Kevin Lim, who's got the experience, right? Just Kings Guild champs. Shout out to the Kings Guild.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. To Kevin, like, coming in, I mean, he's brought in some drills that we've been doing at practice. To James on the defensive end, to Chris Gellin running the offense, Sean with the hot shot, Tommy being everywhere, man. Everybody told me like, hey, Tommy's good, but he's kind of quiet. Like, we've had him kind of open up and like tell us where he wants to be, get him to his spot. And even Malik, who didn't know much of the guys there. Even he was speaking up and got some good buckets this last game. So I think we're complimented all around. With our one weak spot, and I'm sure everybody's already seen it, is just our size, our height. I mean, I'm not even 6 feet, and I'm the biggest guy on the team. So that's where I've noticed is our challenge. But outside of that, man, I really like the dynamic that we've got. We've got great chemistry, which we're blessed. I'm blessed to have that.
Yeah, I guess like just kind of on that topic of dynamic and chemistry, a lot of us have played basketball for a long time. We've played in different leagues. We kind of know like every league, every season, they all feel different. How would you describe like the feeling and flow of this league and in your team specifically for you?
Yeah, well, I guess, my experience only this one, and then the being in was it Guild Wars? Is that what the last one was called?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you laughing? It was a good name.
We had to pitch that name.
Yeah.
I would say from then to now, the previous season was really strategic in splitting up your team in two, right? This is, and you almost don't know like who you're going to be playing with on a weekly basis. That's what I remember from last season. This season is more so, okay, you've got the same squad. Everybody's getting playing time. Where are somebody's strengths and how can we see that? And small amount of teams, it's also like, especially with the videos you guys are posting, we can scout. Like, we're scouting all of you guys. Like, MOB, we see you 3-0. Like, we're scouting you. So I think, yeah, we're looking at you, Christian. So I think to be able to have that opportunity we've got more. I don't think we weren't recording last season. So to be able to have pieces like that, look at the statistics is really helpful. And then just knowing, okay, this is your squad all the way true. It's not changing, given maybe a free agent here or there. But you've got your group of 7. Go. Like, you've got to have that chemistry. So I think that's really the biggest difference between last season and now, is actually knowing who you're coming to Sunday the battle with every single time. and and having the extra tools, like the statistics, like the videos that we didn't have last season.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And man, don't worry, man. I feel you. Like, I feel like uh my whole time in these leagues, every time I draft, I just feel slept on all the time. And when I watch the Redeem team, like even D Wade is like all my life, people forget about me. Like I'm like, okay, if people are forgetting about D Wade, then I need to just let that go and like show up on the court and show what we did it for. So no, I once you got Tommy, what was it, fifth round, fifth
Yeah,
pick?
man.
That
What's
was a
it?
great. That was like to get
Yeah,
Tommy at 5. I think was humongous. To me, he's one of the best players in the league, man. I think
yeah. We've
for sure.
we've seen that. So I mean, I don't think I maybe on some Saturdays, but I didn't really play too much with Tommy. So when he fell down to 5, I mean, just from all the hype that from that and the mock draft, it was like, all right, how do I not, right? So truthfully, if he had already gone, it was, who was I going to pick? Oh, Parks. I was going to grab Chris Parks, right? That's his first name. That's who I was going to snag if Tommy wasn't there. But yeah, when he dropped down, it's like, well, I mean, hell, if D Wade's falling to 5, I'm not passing on him.
Exactly. How would you describe some of the teams you've played so far? Like, I mean, like last game, that was y'all's, I guess, first defeat.
Yeah.
Like,
So
yeah, how would
we
you
played.
describe playing the Dodgers?
That was tough, man. Like, so our whole strategy going into it was, all right, we know they love backdoor cuts. Like, that's what they live off of. They drive in the lane, little backdoor cut. If we can close that and just kind of stay tight, if you will, we can live with the outdoor threes. That's okay. But it was a battle. Even though they didn't have any like super big guys, like I think Chris had a freaking double. We were down a guy, so we actually had 6 guys, so that was a bit more challenging too. But man, they've got speed, they've got shooters. I don't think we keep track of how many turnovers, but we had the most turnovers out of the 3 the 3 games so far. So their defense was really, really tough. It was impressive. It was truly impressive what the Dodgers did. And we knew they were going to come out like fighting, especially like I was talking that shit, like look out for us, like talk about us. I knew I was opening up a can of worms, and my ass was like looking at Chris and be like, talk about us. I'm like, oh God, I know he's gonna like circle that on the calendar now.
I saw you guys are like at one point down by like maybe 8 or 9, and then out of nowhere there was a comeback. I don't know if you remember exactly that moment, but
yeah,
can you just like walk us through what was that like and what was kind of like powering that run that y'all had there?
Yeah, well, it was Joby, right? Is that his name? Is it Jody or Joby? I forget his name. But
Jody.
Yeah, Jody. So Jody was over on the other sideline. He's like yelling and shit. I'm like, okay. So I could kind of
that's their Pat Bev. That's
yeah.
Pat Bev.
Yeah, shout out to Jody, man. Shout out to Jody, baby.
Oh, well, Jody definitely like got, I don't know, he might have gotten in people's heads, but what I loved about our team was we like got together and like, okay, they think they've got us. Like they're probably going to take the foot off the gas right now. Like right now we are coming back. So it was this mentality of we're going to empty the tank right now. We don't care that there's 12 minutes left in the second half or whatever. Empty the tank. Let it all right now. We are coming right back into this. So I think I forgot who hit a 3, and then I hit a 3. And I think we had like an and 1 or something. Next thing you know, it's like a tie game. We're right there. And they called a timeout. They called a timeout when we came back. It's like, that's exactly what we needed. Like, let's go. So I really liked how we responded, because it could have very much gone the other way of we're rattled, we're going to not adjust, and we're just going to keep trying to play ball. So it was a little bit of an adjustment. I think I wasn't sure if at that point, but we also switched to man-to-man, but really liked how we said, okay, let's put it all out there right now. We're not waiting till there's 2-3 minutes left on the clock. We need to get right. Like, this is the game. This is it. If we fall down 15, 20 points, we're not going to be able to climb out of that. So we're down 8, we're down 9. Let's climb right now. Like, so that's kind of how we responded on that.
That is That is how runs are developed. Yes, and it's a game of runs for sure. But I think the last thing I wanted to ask you is like, what teams or players do you keep an eye on, if any? Like, what? Yeah,
Well, so
besides your own, of course.
yeah, so I've been watching the Gators a bit. That's Chris Abueleta's team, right?
Yep,
So
yep.
so I was watching his team, and man, they've got size, they've definitely got talent. Um, and what I noticed a big difference between we're recording this on the 3rd of November. What I noticed a big difference between game 3 and game 2, they started using Woo a lot more. And that was, I think, really, really big. I think the Gators have a lot of talent on that team. They just kind of need to find their. I think they're still working on finding their identity because I think they lost last week too, right? Like it was pretty close. But wait, didn't they play you, Christian?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's right, 3-0.
All our games have been close, at least.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
that's right. I was keeping score for that game. So I had eyes on the Gators because I think they're really talented. They're just still working on figuring out their identity of sorts. But really, really that. And then on your guys' team, I mean, dude, I was watching you, and I had a couple of the guys next to me from my squad. I'm like, you cannot give Christian an open 3. Like, dude, I don't know how many times you had an open 3 in that game. I'm like, no, like just stay on top of him.
And it's my only way of scoring nowadays. So.
Yeah, so that, I mean, I don't think, well, we don't play any other team twice, right? Until we get to playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's gonna be interesting in terms of people coming into play. Like once playoff starts, it's brand new season. I think like regular season is just like you said, figuring out your identity, getting your game plan straight because you've never played with this group of guys before, so not necessarily, but I mean some teams have, but yeah. So I don't like being 3-0, honestly. Like it feels good now, but now we have to find motivation and like I've been there before where like you're a top team in the regular season, then you're playing a team who hasn't won yet, but they have nothing to lose and their backs in the corner and the playoffs, and it's just harder.
Yeah, dude, you're still right. And actually, one quick other shout out, and then I'll tell you how I'm right in agreement with you. So Danny Kunala, there not this weekend, but the past weekend we played against his team, and he and I used to play a while back, sometimes just like pick up. And he's gotten a lot faster. I told him, I was like, dude, like you got some speed to you. Like I didn't know you had that. And I know he's got a great shot, but he definitely got faster. So I gave him some kudos. So shout out to Danny, definitely taking a leap there. But I will tell you, despite not being happy about losing to the Dodgers this past weekend, there was kind of like a okay, I can release my breath now. Like it's okay to take a loss and be like, all right, we're right there with everybody else now. So I don't feel as pressured as 3-0.
Yeah.
So
and now you guys are coming for our souls.
Oh, we got you this weekend?
Yeah, it's this Sunday.
Heck yeah. But no, we're looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. Dude, every time I look at the scoreboard, we're like pretty much every team is always so close to the other one. Like there haven't been too many blowouts. So that I've been really impressed with too. It's like we're all relatively balanced, which has been pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, even 3-0, I feel like we could have lost any of these games, and even for New Rich, who they're still looking for that first win, I feel like they could have won any of those games. So it's definitely pretty balanced, and I think that's what I love about the game too. Is like all that matters is what happens that day and that core and how everybody meshes together.
Yeah,
but,
100%. I mean, New Rich, I think we only beat them by 1, and then Dodgers, like, what was it? We just lost them by like 3 or 4 points. So, 1 bucket or 2 buckets, that's a completely different record for everybody, right? So I'm right there with you.
Gonna close out on this, and Aaron, you have to answer this one too. Actually, you're gonna answer this one first. What do you love the most about the game of basketball?
Oh, easy. It's just honestly the feeling of like rhythm and flow when the team is just moving the ball and everyone's playing the right way. I think basketball is the most beautiful sport, honestly, and all hoopers know that feeling when everything's just clicking and people are moving together off ball screens. It's just such an unexplainable feeling, but hoopers all know it, and I think that's the best part.
Yeah, it's a great but a tough question. My favorite thing about basketball, I mean, one, just it being a sport that people can all like get around and get together on, but actually being there on the court. Yeah, I mean, no, Aaron, I'm not going to copy you. That's such a cop out if I do that. The best part about basketball is when the ball goes nothing but freaking net and you hear that swish. Like, man, it just
Best sound in the world.
the best sound in the world, bro. Like, that's just so good. Now, I mean, I will agree with Aaron. There's another reason why I love playing with you guys and not like just playing random pickups is because random pickups, you'll get so many ball hogs, dude. Like, if you get the ball, like, you might as well shoot it, because if you pass it, you'll never get it back. And I hate that kind of that flow of basketball. So I am in agreement with Aaron of like, just when a whole team is clicking and you are communication, everybody knows what they're doing. It just seems like it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. But one of the best parts has to be like when you let that shot go and you can do the Steph Curry turnaround. You already know, man. You already know it's going in.
Exactly.
The celebrations.
Yeah, I might have to do that, Christian. I might have to do that in your game, man. I'll let it go and turn around. I have to look at the scores table. They tell me if it goes in or not.
If you do, if we get on the court and we haven't agreed, okay, this is when you're doing it, I will let you shoot that for the camera. So,
oh
yeah,
my God, I gotta know where the camera's at so I look at it.
Yeah, you know, it's really cool too about the game is like, you know, I met David through different things, but like kind of meeting you through playing basketball with David, like, you know, that freaking orange ball, man, it really like actually leads to awesome connections, and new friends. And I met actually, I would say most of my best friends on the court. So, you know, it's been awesome to meet you. And I always tell David, because David's injured right now and we're missing him, but he's like, man, I got FOMO. I'm like, don't worry, man. Brian's carrying it on. He's carrying on your spirit, your soul.
Yeah.
So
you're so right. I mean, shout out to David for the connection. He's probably gonna listen to us. Be like, oh, he talked about me, dude. I was trying to get his ass. I told him, I was like, dude, I was like, just come coach us. Like, just come, like, at least stand on like.
I know.
I told his ass, and he was like, no, I'm gonna FOMO. Like, I'm gonna want to be out there and be like, all right, well, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, I even tried to get him on this podcast with us today, and he wouldn't do
Oh,
it.
really?
Jeez,
Oh, that would have been awesome. Well, hopefully he at least listen to it. David, that offer still stands if you want to come coach.
Yeah, but all right, Brian, it's been good. Thanks for giving us your late night after a long storm day. You know, we're gonna get this out hopefully before Sunday, and we appreciate you, man. Good luck on Sunday. I look forward to that game. I think it's gonna be a great gentleman's game. It's gonna be a tough game, and it's gonna be exciting.
Heck yeah, right back to you, man. Appreciate you guys. Aaron, thanks as well, and Christian and all you guys. Looking forward to it. Again, love what you guys are doing. I am honored to be a part of it, and let's keep this shit going. So, right back to you. Looking forward to Sunday, man. I'll see you guys then.
All right, man.
See you.
All right, take it easy.